don't see too many like me. Cause I am one of the reasons you do what you do when you wanna be me instead of you. Cause I am still on beat, showing love to the streets. Come on, you know me, cause that's who I am.
Good afternoon, Kevin Hastings, along with Zach Mayhue and Hunter Yancey today. Let's see if I hit all the buttons right. Andrey Bush is going to be joining us soon. Hunter Yancey, live from his dwelling, his cave, his anti-virus pod. There I am. Good morning, everybody. Or good afternoon, everybody. And Zach sitting in Hunter's seat actually today to make our videos work like we want to, but I think we got everybody seated and seated here, Zach, and my computer went down. We're going to get that back up in just a minute. Good afternoon, everybody. Hunter, all the way from the crossroads where Robert Johnson sold his soul to the devil to learn how to play the guitar. Was that Highway 16 and 73?
Highway 1673, maybe 16 and 150.
Oh, is that where you're at? I always forget exactly which one.
Yeah, maybe 16 and 150.
That's where you do know that story about Robert Johnson.
No,
Zach, do you know that? Did one of you? So about the guitar player who sold his soul to the devil at the crossroads. You seen "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou"?
Yes, but it's been years.
Yes.
So you know where he picks up the guy Tommy that plays the guitar. That's what that's referencing. Is the old famous guitar player said he. Oh, that's how he learned how to play. As he sold his soul to the devil. There you go. So you learn something new every day, Hunter, don't you?
I do.
And this ain't even got nothing to do with sports, kind of, but no.
Exactly.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Morning, whenever or wherever you're listening and watching to the show. Everybody on Facebook, hello. I want to say hi to all of our groupies there. Hunter, have you rounded up some groupies yet? You got some
trying,
Facebook groupies?
Man. I'm trying.
You're trying. Just moms and grandmas right now. Is that...
Oh yeah, oh yeah. You know, I gotta have everybody in the family enjoying it.
So we want to welcome everybody. This is our first Skype broadcast to be Skyped in. There's Tom Cinefani checking in, saying hello to the guys. They're doing a little training today. The local schools. We've got kind of a menage of different works or vocations here that we can kind of talk about some things that's going on with this. So Tom's working in the public schools. They're working to get to online classes and online information out to the kids. My son, my wife's the teacher, so she's working on that. Zach works in at Harris Teeter's, the meat manager up in Denver, which is actually calling it the zombie apocalypse up there. You ever seen anything like this, Zach?
Never. Since 1994, I've been in the grocery business. Nothing close.
So I want to thank everybody for tuning in and watching here today. We're about to get into some NFL free agency. That means where's Cam Newton going? He's been told there's communication there. Not too happy between Cam and the team. We'll go over his tweets and or Instagrams in just a minute. Hunter will talk about his lovely font.
Lovely font.
Love the font,
lovely.
right? So Panthers are beginning a new. Zach is a Panthers fan, and Hunter's a Redskins fan. So we got ties here with the Redskins turning into the Panthers, and the Panthers turning into completely something new. Everybody and anybody that had a contract is basically out the door, Zach. So you guys are rebuilding mode. You've signed Teddy Bridgewater, and he 3-year deal, 2 guaranteed. So that doesn't mean you guys are out of the quarterback market, but I would say you should be out of first round, maybe even second round quarterback market to improve your team. Now that you have Bridgewater, you have the 7th pick. Do you see a move back, stay still, and pick a defensive player like Derek Brown or Simmons?
I would go defensive player or offensive tackle.
Yeah,
I'm good with either on those. I don't dislike the Teddy Bridgewater move. It's me and Hunter was talking about it before that. Hunter said he didn't like it as much as I did. I think it's a low price to pay for a starter, and I think he's going to give us as much as Cam was going to give us.
Yep.
And me and Kevin talked about it last night. It frees up some money maybe to pay McCaffrey when that time comes around. We're going to not be good possibly for a little bit. So get all these contracts off of us, start fresh, and we'll see what the new regime wants to bring in. I did find out something I did not know last night looking over this this signing. Teddy Bridgewater worked with the new offensive coordinator at the Saints. Did either one of y'all see that? So
Yeah, I kind of knew that. I'm not trying to just say, "Oh, well, look at you catching up." I'm just saying, yeah, because he did a stint before he was with LSU.
Yep.
With the Saints, where he was like an offensive assistance coach.
Yep.
For the head coach Sean Payton. So he at least had a year to work with Teddy Bridgewater before he took over the passing coordinator's job at LSU. So I mean, hey. There's a tie that maybe
that's what probably brought him in.
persuaded.
Yeah, I think it is.
Persuaded that
And
deal.
then that kind of might give us an idea of what offense we could run. And you think about our weapons. I was thinking about it last night after I seen that. We have McCaffrey that can catch out of the backfield. He can run out of the backfield. You're going to have Teddy Bridgewater that can pass and run possibly. I don't know how his legs held up. He did start 5 games last year, went 5-0.
We looking at West Coast type things? Is that what?
The Saints offense, basically. It's what
I saw a mixture of. It said mixture of two things. It was Saints and something else, kind of. The Bridgewater's not got a terrifically big arm.
Yeah.
But he's accurate. 65% completion percentage on over his career. I think last year was 67, 68%. Zach, we do want to stay with the Panthers a little bit. Hunter, you just said that they did cut Eric Reed. Or are cutting Eric Reed?
Yes, they are in fact cutting Eric Reed. So they are losing. I saw someone on Twitter was like, "Well, there they go again, losing an asset for nothing." To me, I think that was just dead weight that you needed to cut regardless. I don't necessarily think he was bringing much to the table. You already had a safety locked up in Trey Boston, so if you can go out and maybe find you somebody else to fill that hole, I think it's very doable. So I don't think it's necessarily – I could see where people would say, oh, cutting him and releasing him, you're not seeing if there's even any trade value for him. But to me, they might have seen what they could get for him, saw there were really no suitors, and this was the best case that they had was to just release him.
They did. Panthers did re-sign Trey Boston.
Yeah.
I did see that. There's a lot of signings this happened. So we did lose Bradbury as the Panthers. He went to the Giants for I think it's 3 year, $45 million. But I just don't think right now we're just going to sink that kind of money into anybody if we're not going to be good.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the question with McCaffrey now. With only paying Teddy $20, does that make you guys have more room, or should you're basically arguing over $5 million is what you're arguing over with the running back. And if you pay your quarterback only $20 as opposed to Ryan Tannehill getting $28, $30 million a year, and Dak asking he's going to be franchised about $33. Does that help you guys keep McCaffrey, or do you think they're still looking to move him?
I think they keep McCaffrey. You still got to have somebody that's going to put some butts in some seats. And McCaffrey, even with Cam there, was turning into the face of the team fast. So I think they'll keep McCaffrey. And with what he brings to the table with catching out of the backfield, this new offense we're going to be running, look at what Kamara does down in the Saints. And I think McCaffrey's better than Kamara. That's just my opinion. So I'm good with keeping him. I think they will keep him. Hunter, what do you think?
I think they will keep Christian McCaffrey, but it's going to – this is what you really need to watch for, is if they do keep him, is he going to end up pulling an Ezekiel Elliott wanting his money and holding out? And see, I think Christian McCaffrey – wants to play the same that Zeke was. He wants to play, and I'm not calling out their character, but it just comes down to that almighty dollar sign.
Oh, yeah.
At the end of the day. So it's going to be, they want to retain him because very rarely, I know to me, he should have won Offensive Player of the Year last year over Michael Thomas. Very rarely do you have a 1,000 type guy. No. You have one with the capabilities that he has. I think really he's the face. There's no more, Luke Kuechly, Cam is getting ready to be moved off of. So he's the face. He's the guy that you're building around. The franchise cornerstone now. So if you can get the money situation figured out, absolutely. Because you don't want to be in a situation that the Rams seem to be in right now where they paid Todd Gurley early and reports are they are looking for every way possible to move off of him right now.
I will say, too.
What about Gurley in Tampa, Hunter?
Mm.
Because they really don't have running game
I
right now.
agree. I think that would be a great landing spot for Todd Gurley because with the weapons that they have, they don't really have to rely on the run game. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, O.J. Howard at the tight end position, and Brady coming in who's not going to turn the ball over. That's one thing that Jameis did. He's coming in. He's not going to turn the ball over.
I got some fun stats on that. We're going to get to that hopefully when Andrey comes down here. We're going to talk about Brady, but yeah.
I think it would just come down to, what would they want to what are the Rams looking to get for Todd Gurley? Are they just looking to unload him for anything just to get out from underneath his contract? Or do they think he still has enough value to at least get them a second or third round pick? I think it would fit really well in Tampa Bay. They do have a running back, Ronald Jones. I mean, he's not bad, but if Todd Gurley is anything around 85% of what he can be, I mean, you have to take that gamble because basically Tampa Bay is officially saying it's win now mode, or else they wouldn't have signed a 43-year-old quarterback.
Well, that's. I mean, yeah, obviously that's what they're doing, Hunter.
Yeah.
I don't see why they wouldn't maybe at least kick the tires on that. I mean, Arians seemed the way he was talking was that he had some confidence in his defense moving forward. So if he does have confidence in that, I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't even just trade a future pick or whatever the Rams might want for him. What's confusing about all these deals and stuff is almost none of them are like the same, basically. Like, so
Yeah.
DeAndre Hopkins and Stephon Diggs got two totally different hauls.
Right.
And I would say I think Hopkins is a better receiver. I don't know how you guys feel on that. Than Stephon Diggs.
Oh, yeah. I think Hopkins. I was thinking, we was talking about wide receivers last night, and I was like, trying to think of top in NFL, and the one I missed was Julio Jones.
Yeah,
when
that
I was
is one of the
thinking
ones.
that was one of the ones.
I will say
he's
this
probably
to
number
me.
2.
I see Stephon Diggs as at least a top 10, closer to maybe a top 5 wide receiver.
I think he's
in
on
the
that
league.
5. I think he's on.
But
that
I
5
do
range.
know, that Hopkins is that easily, arguably 1 through 3.
I think he's 2. I think Julio's first, he's second, and then you got everybody else is pretty even from 3 to 6.
So I'm just wondering. Sorry, I lost my train of thought reading that. What would it take to get Cam Newton? Because we always see these trades, and then you see what a team gets for it, and you're like, why didn't my team offer a 6th round pick and a 2nd round pick?
They're even saying
here
now talking about cutting him. Like
right.
they just and I told Kevin this last night when they got Bridgewater, his trade value, if it was a 3rd round pick, it dropped to 5th, or 6th. And
but
now,
how can a wide receiver like Diggs be worth 4 picks
and Cam
and a quarterback nothing?
I don't understand.
In this league, and then we'll turn around and pay Tannehill $28 million a year.
And who wouldn't take Cam over Tannehill?
I mean, even I'm not that big of a Cam fan, but I would take Cam Newton over Ryan Tannehill.
And they paid him $33 million a year, I think.
Yeah, I think it's 28 guaranteed the first 3 years, and then so we'll go from there. So that's my thing that I'm wondering, concerned, like what would the Panthers actually get, or teams offering? What teams would be offering? So you're sitting here in Carolina, Zach. Let's look at the teams. I wrote it down down the hallway, of course, is what I wanted to go over. But so NFL teams that could possibly make a trade for Cam, Miami Dolphins, Hunter.
Yeah, they probably could. Miami is proving right now
What
in
about
free agency.
What about this year's set? They
that
got a high.
they're not-
They got high picks. What about like a high second this year?
Yeah,
for
they
Cam?
could. But to me, I mean, even if he gets just released, I could see Miami pulling the trigger. I've seen Miami be very aggressive this free agent season. I've seen them sign two of the highest cornerbacks now.
I tell you what,
with them getting Byron Jones.
Let's establish then which teams could trade for Cam, and then we'll figure out from there which teams, based on the draft and / would actually trade for him as opposed to sign him or whatever. And let's try to nail this down. Let's go with Miami.
Yes. New England.
What
they're in a hole.
Well,
He has been rumored. Belichick, real crafty. If he wants him,
my biggest
he'll steal
thing
him.
about the New England thing is surely to goodness Belichick wouldn't do all this without having a plan. Like that's what does it. That's what of all the things that haven't made sense in all this is that obviously the Patriots don't want to give Tom what he wants, or they've set in stone that we're only paying this much for the quarterback. So what then? Does Belichick isn't going to just be like, we'll just see what everybody else does. That's what's weird about it. Has he had his eye on Cam this whole time, or a Jacoby Brissett? Remember, Brissett has been in New England already.
And then Rivers just fell to
Colts.
Colts.
Rivers went to the Colts. So does Brady? I mean Belichick, is he looking to trade for that? So let's stick to Cam before we get to Patriots and Brady and stuff. So Cam, let's possible teams. Huh? You said New England, Miami.
Go to AFC.
What about Jacksonville?
We can go by division.
That's what I'm looking at. What about Jacksonville? They're looking to trade Nick Foles.
Yeah, I seen that. I thought,
but are they that happy with Minshew, or are they looking to trade Foles because they might want Cam? Is that a possibility? Let me know if right now.
You can put possible. You can put possible there.
Okay. Denver, is John Elway ready to make a splash? What if Denver offers all their draft picks for Cam and Christian McCaffrey, Zach?
I'll take it. I wouldn't even think twice.
All 7 picks.
I wouldn't even think twice about it.
Rumor is they're looking to move off of Joe Flacco.
Well, that's true.
So.
Be like Ricky Williams deal.
So, yes or no on the Broncos? You think they're staying there with Locke?
No.
So no on Broncos making
they're
a
not
trade.
staying. I'm saying they're saying no on keeping Locke. I think they're wide open.
You think so you think
possible.
Denver's possible?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Possible.
What about the Chargers? Definitely.
What about the Raiders?
They just signed their second quarterback. They
got Mariota
to back up to Derek Carr.
Chargers, I could say yes, because at the same time they still have to sell stadium tickets, and that's a name.
They could still draft a quarterback. Are they picking in the top 10?
Yeah, they're 6th.
I thought they were high.
They're just before the Panthers.
So they could still draft a quarterback.
Washington.
Ooh.
I don't want to say it, but it is possible.
I say definitely. How about this one? The New York Giants.
No, I think they like Danny Dimes.
Who's the GM up there though?
I understand that. I just think they like their I like their guy.
Big Gettleman's up there.
I like their Daniel Jones.
I think they really do like Jones.
I think it's setting back
I don't
too much.
think so.
Washington is very intriguing. Because you remember when McDermott went to the Bills? They were like Carolina 2.0. Now the Redskins are going to be like Carolina 3.0.
A lot of coaches, once they leave, bring over some veterans from the other team's trying to
because they're trying to get their culture
right. They're trying to do their culture, and that like Rivera's trying to do his culture, but the Panthers are trying to get rid of the old ones.
So it's perfect fit. Hey, I'd like to see Cam go to Washington.
Hey, all right. How about the?
I don't.
How about
that's as a fan?
How about the Chicago Hunters of Redskins? How about the Chicago Bears?
They're
that
the
is
number
big
one.
Possibility.
They're the number one that's on ESPN right now.
Okay.
I believe that. Yeah.
Nothing in the NFC South.
Why wouldn't you? Okay, let's go back to Detroit.
NFC West. So I've got 7 possible teams. I don't think there ain't no way Detroit.
Why wouldn't you trade Stafford and put him on there and just load up a bunch of picks for Stafford?
Now, if that's their intriguing. The problem I have with like that one is that you have to make two moves instead of say New England just trade for Cam. So if Detroit's going to have to, they would have to move Stafford like you just said, which would be fine, and then get Cam.
Detroit would have made more sense if the Panthers didn't already go out and get Teddy Bridgewater, because essentially you could have done a trade. You just send Matthew Stafford to finish out his career in Carolina as like a stopgap,
Right.
and then you bring Cam Newton into Detroit.
Stafford and Cam have played a combined 20 years and have a grand total of 3 playoff wins combined. And Cam's got all of them.
Yeah, Stafford has none.
In 11 years, Stafford has never
okay.
won a playoff game. So I've got 7 teams. Here,
How
Zach,
long is Aaron Rodgers playing?
that's a very good question. They're talking about drafting.
They're drafting
A quarterback in the second, third round, or something like that. Trying to get over to Carolina here. We're still looking at these teams. Pull up the draft and get in that order too. All right, Hunter. So I've got New England, Miami, Chargers, Chicago, Jacksonville, Denver, and Washington. Zach, who are your favorites?
Chicago.
Give me 2 favorites.
Chicago and
New England,
Don't say
Miami, Chargers.
I want to say
Denver,
Washington, but I'm gonna say New England higher than Washington.
Hunter, who do you think are the 2 favorites?
Favorite
to
obviously
trade for
is going
Cam
to be
Newton?
for Cam Newton. Favorite obviously is going to be Chicago because they're shopping around like crazy. Whether it's Nick Foles, Andy Dalton, they're bringing up names left and right. I wouldn't even be surprised if Joe Flacco's name will be thrown in there for Chicago. And then my second favorite, I'm going to be 110% honest with you. It's going to be the Chargers, and it's just because to me, they were just injury riddled last year, and after moving off a quarterback, if that's the only position you really need to fill, you can still be in win now mode.
And then he's definitely Hollywood. So
Do you think?
Yeah.
Do you think they? That's what I was saying, Zach. Do you think they're looking for something of that nature to fill some seats?
You got to, because as well as I do, both of y'all do. If you're not winning in LA, guess what? Ain't nobody in your stadium.
All right. So the 3 teams we got, both of you think Chicago, Chargers, and Patriots are the teams we think could possibly go after Cam Newton. Surprises would be Miami, Jacksonville, Denver, and Washington, according to us, I guess. I would say Jacksonville last on Denver. I would say top 5 teams: Chicago, Chargers, Washington, Miami, and New England. I don't know if Washington would trade for him as much as they would sign him if that's a release, Hunter. If he's released,
I could see a sign and like if a release, we sign him because we did let Case Keenum walk out the door off of his 1-year deal. He's now a backup in Cleveland.
Yeah.
So we really are thin in backups. For some reason, they keep throwing around Alex Smith as trying to make a comeback, and I would look at him and say, sir, I suggest you just reconsider that heavily. But if it comes down to it, for depth-wise, okay, fine. But I'm not bringing him in to diminish whatever work we've put in to help develop Dwayne. You couldn't do it. You couldn't stunt his growth back-to-back years and basically waste that 15th pick from the year before. I couldn't do it.
We talk about this all the time. Is that the more draft picks you waste, the longer it's going to take to be a good team. And if you're picking quarterback in the first round and they're not giving him time to develop, whether it's win or lose, to me, if you pick a quarterback in the first round, you have to give him 3 years at least, just to see. You can't this at 1 or 2.
And look, I'll admit this: if Dwayne is not the guy after this year, well, guess what position we'll be in for next year? Trevor or Justin Fields or another quarter. Like if there's your 2-year gap, we're getting close to, like you said, the 3 years. Well, if you can see plain as day he's not the guy this coming year, then make the move. But to me, like I can't judge him just based off what I saw last year. Because when he would come into the games, like after not starting, they're basically throwing him to the wolves. But the games that he did start, the last 3 games of the season, he was one of the highest rated rookie quarterbacks in the league.
Usually when they draft a quarterback that high, you kind of sit on him for at least a couple years, even if he doesn't do well. But with what happened in Arizona last year,
that's changed everything.
It has. I mean,
what they did changed everything.
The guy they picked the year, Rosen, was what,
he's in my
7th pick.
Isn't he available now? Did he go somewhere else?
Yeah, he's got shipped out of there. He was a 7th or 8th pick, and then he's out. And then Kyler Murray's in, and they seem to have made the right choice for right now, and they picked up D-Hop, and so Haskins, it's not out.
Kyler Murray should not have won that Offensive Rookie of the Year award last year.
Hunter, I see if you can, or either one of you can give thoughts into this. Every single year, and I talk when we start talking draft picks, and almost if you have a quarterback, it's better to be 5th through 10th in the draft than it is first 5, because all these teams will trade up for a quarterback.
Yeah.
And then they'll waste picks, and you're sitting. I just remember the Cowboys and Browns the last few years sitting anywhere from 6 to 10 or 13, kept getting really good defensive players because everyone else was trading up picking quarterbacks.
Yep.
And year after year after year, if 5 quarterbacks are picked in the first round, I would bet 2 of them are going to be failures. And that's just, I'm just trying to be wide with it. Is that a lot of these guys just don't make it, and for us to sit here year after year and teams just continue to trade up so high and waste so much capital on that, Hunter, if Rivera's going to be successful, I think you guys have to give Haskins this year, or if he likes Cam or whoever, Brissett or someone like that to come in, but you got to give these guys some time. And
it would make perfect sense technically.
Would you ever want to pick the 3rd or 4th best quarterback in the first round? Like, how do you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're not getting first or
if
second,
it was the '83 draft,
right? Ben Roethlisberger,
or the 03 draft,
Roethlisberger.
Right.
I think Wilson might have been picked 3rd or 4th or something like that.
Well, yeah, Wilson was a 3rd round pick, and Dak Prescott was a 4th round pick.
So
and
does that throw you into if you get the first pick, do you automatically start saying, if you were a GM, either one of y'all, hey, I'm trading that, I'm gonna take.
It depends on what someone would offer.
What everybody will give me, the number 1 pick's available,
right?
The bidding war's on, and I would just load up on draft picks because look at do you remember the Saints draft with Mike Ditka?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how much did they just rake in with draft picks for giveaway? Excuse me, I'm
Zach,
sorry.
In the NBA, they're talking if the Warriors get the top pick. What if they tie the Warriors give the top pick and Wiggins to Milwaukee for Giannis? That's what they're talking.
Would Milwaukee take it?
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you're Milwaukee and Giannis says he's going to leave after this year, then you're going to take Wiggins in the number 1 overall pick. And that's what these NFL
Wiggins
teams are
is not
a
bad player.
Right. He's averaging 25.
Right. He's just He's just one of those players that just goes under the radar. He's quiet 25. It's according to who the number 1 is.
But that's what I mean by in what you're talking about, is trading back and getting value and getting more for your pick. The reason to stay at 1.
Patriots do it every year.
Right. The reason to stay at 1, if there's a player, a generational type player, where you say, I got to have Adrian Peterson, or I've got to have Julius Peppers, or I've got that type of player, and I guess you got to choose whether Chase Young's that type of guy for Washington, or if you want to trade back and get some extra picks. I don't like trading up for defenders.
I don't like trading up for either.
The only thing that I would want to trade up for would be one of the top 2 quarterbacks in a draft. Other than that, trading up to me just seems like you can always wait and get the same value or more value waiting as opposed to giving away picks.
You remember, and I'll bring this one up, how you talking about that transitional or transcendent player. You remember Vic came out, and then they Look what the Chargers got. I mean, they got Tomlinson, which is probably a top.
And Drew Brees.
You're right, and Drew Brees in the 2nd round. So, I mean, nobody knew Drew Brees was going to be Drew Brees, but still, look what they got for giving up Michael Vick.
Not one championship out of all of it.
They
no Vic, no Tomlinson, no Drew Brees ended up doing it in New Orleans.
Yeah, and you know what?
And we'll see if Phillip gets ready to do it in Indianapolis.
They should have won. They should have won at least one. He got hurt, and then the year they had Marty Schottenheimer, that they went 14-2, something like that. They should have won that year.
Going back to the quarterback talk, I could, in all seriousness, as a fan, I don't want it to happen, but I could see Cam Newton, if he's released, ending up in Washington, because Scott Turner's there as well, who just worked with him and his father in Carolina. So, you were talking about how players always want to go with coaches because they know their systems and they know their culture. I mean, I could see that happen, and I don't put it past Dan Snyder spending money out there on something stupid.
I'm changing my number 1. Chicago's not trading for him, and the Redskins are going to pick him up. Watch, it's coming.
Yeah, that's what
You
think.
heard it
huh?
first.
Dude,
They're
I promise
coming.
you
He's
this.
coming. It's
I will
coming.
burn my Redskins jersey if that happens.
It is coming.
Which
Burn it.
one? Which
Well, I only have
Redskins?
one.
Is Adrian Peterson?
Is that the only
Yeah.
one you got? Is Adrian?
It's the only one I got.
He's still
I mean,
on
I've
the
got
team.
like T-shirts, but
He's still on the team, and you're gonna burn Adrian Peterson's jersey, who has nothing to do.
Well, the last
with
time
Cam
that they
Newton.
the last time that they won was when Dexter Manley was there. So
I tell you what, Hunter, if this was 5, 6, 7 years ago, and you told me you'd have Cam and Peterson in the same backfield,
I would have been all over it.
that's what we're telling you now. You might have that's hard to stop at the goal line.
Yeah, but here's the problem.
Why is
it's
Peterson
the
not
whole-
any better at the goal line than he has been?
The question is
Isn't that weird?
I think it's
Who?
because he runs upright.
I said why Peterson hasn't been as good at the goal line.
he's
as he
always
has
had
been.
fumble problems.
Right, and he runs so hard. You would think that he would just pound a lot of times pound it in there. You see how defenders avoid DBs avoid Cam just hitting him hard. They just dive at his legs. So I just
For Cam though, that's the big question mark everybody still has on him. Is he going to be the 2015 Cam, or is he going to be the Cam that's come years after that? That literally is the gamble that you just have to take.
That's 5 years ago.
You might get something in between.
That's
Exactly.
5 years ago. People, yeah.
And he's coming off of a foot injury for a man his size. He
running-
had surgery on it.
a 6'6" running quarterback.
throw
Basically
the
broke
football.
his foot, and before that he wasn't accurate, and then he had shoulder surgery on an inaccurate arm, and has barely thrown the ball up until now in the last 2 years. So I think the Panthers are making it the right move, no matter what they do with it.
I think they
didn't
are,
think y'all
too.
were going to end up paying. Honestly, I did not see. I for one thought what you guys were going to do, and what I still think would be the smart thing to do. I thought you guys were tanking, and Bridgewater isn't going to make you make the playoffs, but he's going
Right.
to keep you from winning just 2 games or just 1 game. You're going to win 5 or 6 probably with him maybe, but I just thought y'all would save the $20 million, spend that on young defender or young someone, a lineman, something like that. And then keep rebuilding the draft. You still might do it. They've obviously have some type of plan.
This is basically screaming to me right there at 7. The best defender that's there is getting ready to get taken by Carolina. I feel like it's going to be Isaiah Simmons.
Have you seen the pictures of
Or even the DB.
No, guys? Have you seen the pictures of Marty Herney looking at Derek Brown at the draft?
Derek
Combine?
Brown is a run stopper. That is a huge defensive tackle. I haven't seen any pictures of him looking at him,
I'm gonna
is
pull it
he
up
interested? That before Isaiah Simmons showed the freak athlete that he was at
Right.
the combine, there were a lot of mock drafts that said Derek Brown was going to go to the Panthers.
Of course,
Who does he play for?
He's out of Auburn.
he's a defensive lineman out of Auburn.
They're always good. They got
He is a big
Defensive
defensive
stuff.
tackle.
They pay their defenders well in Auburn. How much did Cam get to go down there? What did he say? His daddy said he turned down $200,000 from somebody. Who was it?
Oh,
Well, all I know is he threw computers out of the window at Florida, so he had to get the hell out of there.
I am while you're looking it up, I'm just laughing. I forgot who the offensive coordinator was for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So I just looked on here, and that is funny.
Why is
It's Byron Leftwich. He's going to be Brady's offensive coordinator. That's awesome. They probably come out. He probably come out after Brady.
Hey, but Bruce Arians is going to be
Oh, yeah.
his head coach,
Oh,
and Bruce
yeah.
Arians has worked with Carson Palmer and Peyton Manning, so this is a match made in heaven.
It is, and his weapons. And I know Andrey's going to talk about this. But the weapons that they have down there, Mike Evans. Do they still have Deshaun Jackson?
No,
He's
Deshaun
gone.
Jackson's back in Philadelphia,
I'm telling you.
but they do have Mike Godwin. Michael Godwin, he is really good.
They could be. If they can get a running back, who was y'all talking about? Gurley?
Right.
I don't know how much
Yeah.
money I don't know how much cap money they got.
I've seen a lot of Washington fans, though, at the same time, we're trying to unload Trent Williams. If they have a glaring need in Tampa Bay to protect Tom Brady, come on now, we're listening, but we want that second round pick because we don't have one at all. Like we don't have a second round
Does
pick
Tampa
at
Bay
all.
even have a first round pick this year?
Does Tampa? I don't know. I would
Let's do
believe
draft
so.
order. Let's do draft order.
Hunter, I'm, of course, having a computer problem here.
No, it happens.
Well, what I'm trying to search on Google, and then when I do, it's sending me to some. I'm even typing in the Google search bar.
Oh, it's sending you to that search encrypt.
Right.
Yeah, no. What you have to do is search in the URL tab at the top, and then choose from there. Seriously, yeah, I know what
What do
you're
you
talking
mean,
about. It
search
happens
from
to
the
me on that
URL
computer
tab?
all the time.
Just type in the URL.
Yeah, up in the URL, what you would search,
Ha.
and it's basically going to take you to the Google search.
I see that. What the hell?
I know, it's so weird. That's Chromebook.
It's not letting me pull up the images on it though. So when I
Oh,
hit images, it's sending me
images, and
back
it's
over
going
to it,
to.
and then it says retry on Google, and I do, and it won't do it.
Yeah, it's weird, man. It's weird.
There's something
That Chromebook is funny, but on your other computer, it'll work definitely.
right. There's something going on. With that.
I think there's some way to turn off that search encrypt. There has to be.
See, what even when I'm sitting there looking at it, I brought up a different web engine, and right in the search bar, Hunter, it says your privacy will be protected by redirecting you to your search encrypt.
Yeah.
It says
Yeah.
learn more. So I'm gonna have to type in how to turn that off.
Bucks are picking 15.
All right, I know, all right, they are in the 15th. I've got the mock draft actually here. I was gonna show people on my computer. I guess I still can. Huh? Let's pull that up for everybody.
I got breaking news for you
All right,
as
what
of
you got?
right now. The Jacksonville Jaguars are trading Nick Foles to the Chicago Bears
Well,
for a
There goes Cam.
compensatory fourth-round pick.
Did I not just tell you
Here
that
comes
the
the
Bears were out?
Redskins.
I told you the Bears were out. I knew it. I just had a feeling.
Zach caught it on there, Hunter.
Jacksonville now hands its starting quarterback job to Gardner Minshew.
And
Minshew mania,
then
baby.
Washington Redskins will be signing Cam Newton. It's coming.
No,
No. It is
the
coming.
Chargers. I'm telling you, the Chargers.
It's a 3-team race. But does Belichick want him? I don't know.
I don't know. That's a big question. And here's another name that nobody's speaking of. We're talking about his replacement. Jameis is still out there.
Yeah,
he did just throw for 5,000 yards and 30 touchdowns, 30 picks as well. But yeah, the other stuff, if you can look over the 30 picks, he got his eyes fixed. Yep. Like,
who's gonna look at Jameis, Hunter? Jacksonville, Miami.
Now one of those Florida teams, maybe.
Jacksonville, Miami, Chargers. I don't think Denver. What about
I don't think Denver.
What about Washington? It just depends.
You guys are in the quarterback market.
It just depends what Rivera thought about him during his tenure there, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I can agree with that. I mean,
he's going to Washington.
I'm against them bringing in any quarterback that might want to come in and be a starter, because then it's just, like I said, it's going to be a waste of the 15th pick that we used the year before.
They did say
that's just how I look at it.
They did say too that Ron Rivera loved Tua. Also,
I mean, he can love Tua all he wants, but the question is do you really want Chase Young dropping to 4 to the Giants and have him chase whatever quarterback you draft around for 2 games a year? To me, it's no. And for him being a defensive mind that he is, why would you not bolster your defense to being probably the most tenacious one in the NFC East? Like, easily, if we draft Chase Young and he turns out to be everything that he is supposed to be, we have the best defense, the best front seven in the NFC East, if not in the whole NFC.
Well, and
easily,
everybody's talking about the Miami thing. They're picking 5th. I think Kevin was looking up draft order. They're picking 5th. If Burrow goes number 1, Chase Young goes number 2, Tua's not going to the Lions, Tua's not going to the Giants, he's going to Miami.
Well, the thing that's being thrown around as well is, does Miami fear that maybe Detroit moves off of Stafford and drafts him? And do they offer Detroit a flip-flop and try and move up and take him at 3? There's going to be some draft day moves, obviously, for whoever.
Yeah, lose
Stone. We know it's Burrow.
Repeat what you just said.
Yeah.
We lost you for about half a second there.
Oh, you lost me.
Yeah.
I was just saying, you kind of stuttered on this side too. I was just saying how, if Miami thinks Detroit's going to take him because Detroit's done with Stafford, they might move up and take him at 3. So there's going to be a draft day move. Somebody's going to take a shot on Tua. It's just going to be who.
And then the second
To
thing to
me,
throw in on it is the
I
Chargers
don't
are
think it's
picking
BS.
seventh.
Yeah,
Sixth.
the
I'm sorry,
Chargers are picking
sixth. I'm sorry,
seventh.
sixth. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sixth.
Sixth.
So Chargers with Herbert and Winston.
I think it's Cam, personally. I think it's Cam.
I think it's Cam. I think Cam is in L.A. or Washington.
It just fits.
All right, so Belichick, before Andrey gets in here, what is I think the key to this? Belichick's got to make a move quick, right? Because if he doesn't make a move now,
I
is
mean,
Belichick going to tank for
don't think he's
Trevor
gonna tank.
Lawrence, or is he gonna? He doesn't. Is he going to play the backup that he had this
What about
year?
Andy Dalton?
Stidham.
See, so that's the thing. I'm trying to write down all the available quarterbacks. We got Flacco, Brissett, Cam, Andy Dalton.
Some of those still have to be traded for as well, like Dalton.
Jameis.
The Patriots are going to get a ton of compensatory draft picks because they usually give those out depending on how much talent that you lose big name players and certain contracts.
Right.
They just lost a handful of key players on their team. So they are going to have picks to just give away if they want to really trade for Andy Dalton out of Cincinnati.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, sorry. Hunter, you there? Froze up.
Yeah, we lost Hunter. So basically, he's saying that, and same as I do, is Belichick always stockpiles picks. They probably got a bunch of picks this year, and what are they going to have to give if they wanted one of those quarterbacks that's available, whether it's Andy Dalton, whether it's Jameis Winston, or anything? If Tampa Bay's got Brady, then they're going to be moving off of Jameis. There's no way they're keeping both. I just don't see it.
I clicked on that.
So whichever place he's going to go, interesting. It's going to be a domino effect. Who goes where is going to affect the next person in line. And then I think Cam and Jameis are neck and neck on landing spots.
You can't hear that ringing, can you? I'm calling Hunter up there. I can hear it ringing. We'll see if he calls me back. We'll go to our other cams for just a minute. Andrey might be joining us just a second. He just said, hold on a second. I'll turn on me for a sec. How about this, Zach? Let's go to this one. Where's my internet? No cams. All right, here's the picture of Derek Brown with Marty Herney. Now, does this look like to you someone who is infatuated with the player, Zach?
Yes, it does. And I'm not a big Marty Herney fan, so I wish we would have started over with him too. Got a new GM, but the guy don't look really big. That defensive guy does not look that big. I would like to get Jeff Okudah. We just lost Bradbury and put Okudah in the back there, but that's where they're saying he might go at number 7 to the Panthers. What's that guy's name there that we're looking at? Derek Brown. He's projected to go 9th to the Jacksonville Jaguars. But they say he is super powerful. 6'5", 326. That's a big guy. So Marty Herney's must be pretty tall because he's not much shorter than him. That picture.
Folks watching online. Dad's telling me to pull something up on the internet, which we will in just a few moments. Trying to get Hunter back hooked up to us.
And I'm not opposed to taking an offensive lineman. I'll say it over and over again. If you can get a good left tackle,
yeah.
Look at who was the guy that retired from the Browns. Joe
Thomas.
I mean,
sir.
he was every losing season they had, he was there. He was a stalwart. I wouldn't mind going ahead and getting one of those right now, and then whenever we get built up, have the left tackle in place.
Well, of course, my internet is acting stupid on that computer. We did disconnect from Hunter a minute ago. We'll get back to him in just a few minutes, folks watching there. The way that, the way he's looking at him, I like Simmons, especially after you lost Kuechly. I don't see a reason why you wouldn't.
I'm trying to see where he's getting drafted.
Look at him. I'd rather have the linebacker that can cover everybody than the defensive tackle that maybe or might can't.
He's
what I mean?
He's getting projected to go out at 3, but you
Shoot,
don't ever. I
really
mean,
high?
you don't ever know. I mean,
right?
What are these people? It's according to what they want. And then you got the Giants sitting there at 4. They're saying offensive lineman. You want to protect Daniel Jones that they just got, so that's coming off the board, and you'll probably have depending on where these quarterbacks go, at 5 and 6, you could have quarterback go off, and they're saying Tua, Justin Herbert, and then we'll be sitting there with our pick for defense or offensive lineman, anybody we want.
Yeah, or trade.
Or trade. Yeah, trade out. It's according to who's sitting there. If there is, let's just say this. If Isaiah Simmons...
Wasn't Kuechly picked around the 7th pick or something like that?
I want to say 13.
Was it that low?
If Isaiah Simmons is sitting there at 7 and somebody wants him really bad, what are they willing to give up for him?
Man.
You might have John Gruden, like he did last year, giving up picks to get the guy that might have went out of the first round.
Who was he having?
The guy he picked up from Clemson with his top pick. Surprised everybody.
That's the thing about a good defender. You need them, but like the value of these first round picks that you have to put that you could get. It's not that, say Chase Young is worth 4 players, but you could trade back and get 4 draft picks, and it basically is worth 4 players. If someone wants someone that bad, that's what's kind of weird about these trades and the values of them and who gets for what.
It's like if you try to trade straight up this year's first round for next year's first round
is it more valuable or less valuable?
It's half the value.
Is it?
This year? It's crazy
because it's this year,
right? I guess it's because you know where you're picking at, but still, swap picks this year and get a first next.
Trying to get logged in. Our internet is not wanting to deal with me right now on 4 different things here. We'll get Hunter back up in a minute, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, and we still got to get Andrey Bush if he's listening in here.
Well, he's too busy down the hall. I don't know what he's doing. So looking at the Panther situation, how many wins right now is that?
Over under?
Yeah.
3.
3's the over under that low?
Yeah. We don't have anybody. Our defense is depleted completely.
I gotta look. Dad sent me something to listen to, and
Okay.
I can't do it while I'm listening. Hunter's doing this too. See if I can get Hunter back on the Skype. Maybe I'm just. Oh, it's over there. Let's see if we can get him back. We'll try him. All right. Looking at the Patriots, Zach. That's what we was getting at. And then when Zach, maybe Andrey will get down here. What do you think? Do you think they're leaning? I've got Brissett, Cam, Andy Dalton, and Jameis are pretty much where they're at right now.
I'd say Brissett.
Now, what about Joe Flacco?
I think Joe's done.
See, I don't think he's done at all.
You don't think so?
I don't think he's done. I just think that was a situation last year. He got hurt and went out a few games. And they brought the guy they drafted in. I wonder if he's lost his connection up there as well. Hadn't got a text from him back, but sorry there. Everybody for a while has been saying Andy Dalton. I mean, Belichick with Jameis is just, it's intriguing. It's insane. It's well, what does his eyesight negate the decision making of throwing bad passes? Because eyesight's good and all, but I think it will help. But if you're still making bad decisions on when or where to throw the ball, that's gonna hamper that. So I don't know about that. I see him safely. Dalton, Brissett wouldn't surprise me. He's been there.
Wouldn't surprise me at
been
all.
there.
I would put him, Andy, up top. I mean, I don't think Andy Dalton's a bad quarterback.
Yeah,
he's won some fantasy football games for me many times. I know that's fantasy, but
well, now that you said that, for Panthers fans out there watching, Andy Dalton has 5 winning seasons. Cam Newton has 3. They were drafted in the same draft. Andy, and I 100% agree with you. Him, Flacco, some of these guys get such bad reputations, and I don't understand it. As soon as you don't throw for 300 yards a game, they call you garbage. Whether you're throwing picks or not, Dalton's out here. Like I said, he's got more win. This pretty much the same wins as Cam in wins and losses. and then also as well as he's got more regular season, winning seasons as Cam had. So
It's like if you ask me right now, would you want Ryan Tannehill or Andy Dalton? I wouldn't even blink. I would take Andy Dalton in a heartbeat.
I probably would too.
And Ryan Tannehill, is like the next Steve Air McNair for Titans right now.
Hunter said
Crazy.
it's not even ringing on his end. Maybe one of us needs to log out and come back on, but it's not going through to him. All right, go down the free agent list. I do want to do that before everyone gets here. All right, Zach. Let's talk. Let me get your thoughts real quick before we do move on to that. Brady in Tampa. Are they playoff team for sure next year? And are they a Super Bowl contender? I guess.
I absolutely love the move for them. I like it for Tom Brady. You know where the Super Bowl is next year too, right?
It's in Tampa, but a team
Right.
has never been a host in the city.
Yeah, and I think definitely a playoff team. They were what were they 7-9 last year?
Yes.
They're definitely a playoff team.
Is Brady worth 3 wins?
Absolutely. Could they be 10-6? Absolutely. That's 3 wins. 10-6 in our division. We're going to be garbage. You'd never know about Atlanta. And then you have the Saints. Can they win the division? What's the head-to-head with the Saints? And that'll be your question to me.
Do the Falcons have a chance in this division? Have they fell so far back? I mean, what's going on with them? I picked them to make the playoffs last year, thinking they would have a bounce back because the year before everybody got hurt, and I had them making the playoffs last year.
You know what their problem? The biggest problem they have?
What's that?
Their coaches in San Francisco.
Oh, okay.
That's my opinion.
Yeah.
I think that's their biggest problem. Their offense did not ever get off to a start, and it's because Shanahan's sitting in San Francisco.
You might be right about that. They had so many injuries. On average, Zach, we're gonna play this game. We might do it next week and see where you're at with us. Hunter comes back in. What I'm thinking is, on average, every year it's 6 teams in, 6 teams out of the playoffs from the year before. Last year's playoffs consisted in the AFC of Ravens, Titans, Chiefs, Patriots. Who else?
Ravens, Titans, Chiefs, Patriots. Oh my goodness, that's the only ones Ravens. You talking about for AFC?
I did fix my extension here that
Let me go to the teams.
I could pull it up. I'm pulling it up right here for everybody. Just watching online.
There
All
it
right, there we go. Let's see if I can get it up big for you there, sir. Zach, did you see they were betting on Madden simulations? So, quick tangent. Back in college, had a class, a TV production class, and the main project on it, Zach, was, the main project on it was we had to build a TV channel and talk about and tell exactly what would be on the channel and everything. And my channel, so when I was in school, was back when the streaming kids started streaming each other online, and Madden come out on the PlayStation 2 and 3 back then, and kids, especially in Boone when it snowed, they would gather, Zach, and watch, sit around, drink beer, watch the other guys playing Madden each other, and so I started, kind of noticing that, and I was like, well, let's I'm gonna do my channel like that. So my channel was the Madden channel, and basically I invented Twitch. The coach and the teacher, I got 2 grades, one for idea, one for execution. I got an A for execution, but I got a C for the idea. He told me it would never work, and people wouldn't sit around watching other people play video games.
That's all they do now.
Twitch sold 20 years later for $2 billion.
I mean,
As a C project, I invented the Twitch, and then yesterday I was seeing that a sports betting website is actually running Madden simulations, and people are betting on them. They ran last night Brady versus Rivers and the Colts on Madden, and they had gave a 2.5 point spread, and people were betting on it.
that's awesome.
I mean, is that a C project? Anyway, Titans, Patriots, Bills, Texans, Chiefs, and Ravens. Let's do for fun real quick.
Who's coming out of that?
Pick me 3 out. Who's coming out?
Texans, Buffalo.
Buffalo. Who's going to win the East then? If it ain't Buffalo.
That's a good question. Let's go Texans, Patriots coming out.
Mm-hmm.
You got one more. I like the Titans. I cannot take the Titans out. Kansas City's not coming out. You're talking about AFC. Kansas City's not coming out.
No?
Buffalo's going to win the division, though.
Right.
Where's the 6th?
So Texans, Houston.
I said Texans first, right?
Oh, yeah. I
said Texans first. And
Tennessee?
then I put Patriots. I just can't take them out. Who would win their division?
Indianapolis.
Ooh.
Didn't they win 7 games last year without Rivers?
I take Tennessee out.
So we're going to take Tennessee out, leave you in Houston, and we're going to put in Indianapolis has to win that division.
Mm-hmm.
Then that leaves you 2 spots in the AFC. Steelers, Browns.
I don't know what happened.
Steelers, Browns. What do you think?
They're not winning.
Raiders.
They're not winning. They're not winning They're not winning the division. Neither one of those teams. Like you're talking about over the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to get to play. I'm trying to get to teams. Let's go ESPN. Mine went down.
Your internet went down too? Oh.
It didn't go down. I clicked off and I lost it. So I'm up now. Okay. I can't put Cleveland in. Pittsburgh is intriguing.
Yeah.
I'm putting Pittsburgh back in.
All right.
Pittsburgh's going back in. That's 1. How many's got to go back in?
You already
3?
said Indianapolis.
Indianapolis, that's 2. And then one more?
Mm-hmm. Raiders?
I think Gruden gets back in. He didn't have a bad year last year.
Yeah.
They could win. They could be second in that division. We all got to kind of wait too to where all these quarterbacks fall.
Only a few more of that. Yeah, that's what he's trying to do right now. So you're going to go. I about wrote Oakland.
Yeah.
LV. And the fact they used to be LA, you know how hard it's going to say to Las Vegas instead of Los Angeles Raiders?
It's going to happen.
To everybody. All right, NFC, Zach, give me 3 out.
2 is in. Let's see.
Minnesota, New Orleans, Seattle, Philadelphia, San Francisco, and Green Bay.
Green Bay's winning their division.
Okay.
San Francisco or Seattle will win their division, I think. I don't think the Rams will. I think they're getting long in the tooth. Saints are still in. I mean, gosh, that's a toss up on all that. If the Vikings are out, Vikings are gone. They're not making it. That's 1. And some of these teams, might still make it. You don't know. If I had to pick, it'd be Vikings out.
Look up there for a second. I'm going to try to. Well, you're going to say Vikings out.
Vikings out.
I was going to try to play something with sound over here to see if we have something for everybody at home can make sure that I'm trying to get back in touch with Hunter, folks. What I'm trying to do. Be quiet for a second. I'll see if folks hear this at home. Doesn't look like it's coming through like I want it to. I'm trying to make it to where. Yeah, it says USB capture out. I was even trying to switch over to a different computer, maybe run through that like we're running through our stuff, but I don't know. Our Skype is acted up on the main computer, which doesn't surprise us. Anytime we do something else besides the streaming, and it wants to act silly on me. I guess Andre's just never gonna come down here. He's got too many things to do down there. All right, Zach, Minnesota, New Orleans, Seattle, Philadelphia. Any of those you want out?
Philly's a question mark. I mean, Dallas and Philly.
Who's going to win the division?
Yep.
I don't think Dallas is better. They haven't done nothing but re-sign
the same thing they had.
Pretty much what they had, and they've lost 5 starters from free agency as well. So
it's 50-50 on who wins that division. Philadelphia could go out easily.
Mm-hmm.
If I was going to pick, I'd say just because of who else is there, I can't take Seattle out. They're perennial every year with Russell Wilson. That's two. That's two that I've got. It's a toss-up anybody else.
Yeah.
I mean, because, look, if Seattle wins the division, is San Francisco out of the playoffs possibly?
Mm-hmm.
Is the Rams play a little bit better? They beat each other up in the division. They got 3 good teams in that division. They could beat each other up. Kind
of. I mean, Arizona's not terrible.
No, so all 3 of them teams could be susceptible. So I'm gonna say that San Francisco has the hangover, the Super Bowl.
No 49ers.
Because the Super Bowl champion usually don't make the playoffs the next year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, runner up.
So
I'm going with San Francisco, Philly, and Minnesota.
Are the ones that are out. I, for the most part, Zach, picked the exact same teams last night when I was writing this down. Let's see if I can. It's still. How do I sign out of Skype completely? That's what I want to know. I think maybe I need to do that somehow, and then get back in with Hunter, and maybe that'll do what I want it to do. Yeah, Zach, that's the ones I had. Now, if you're going in the NFC, we're going to replace. You're going to say Tampa?
Yes.
If Philly's out, who's winning the NFC East?
Dallas.
Okay, so you got to put them in. That means you get 1 wild card out of all that. Who is your extra?
Let me pull up my team.
NFC
wild card. I lost them.
It's just saying no internet. We're somehow still streaming. And I don't want to disconnect the stream
Chicago Bears.
as long as we're still streaming. I hear us in the other room. It sounds like we're still streaming.
Chicago Bears.
You got the Bears no matter who they just got.
Foles Mania. Nick Foles Mania is going to lead them back to the playoffs. Yeah, Nick Foles Mania. Sorry, we went quiet there for a minute.
No, I'm good. You can keep on talking about whatever you really want to on that.
Yeah, I was just saying that I think the Bears get back in. They got a good enough defense by far. Look how good Foles did with Philadelphia on the run that he had. If he can stay healthy, that's iffy. What do they do with Trubisky? That's going to be another thing. So is Trubisky a quarterback that could be on the move?
From everything I've seen, is they're going to make him compete for his job. Bringing in Foles, I think that's what that is. To me, they're kind of close to the same type of quarterback almost.
I think Trubisky's. It's kind of hard unless you're a stud in Chicago. What do you got to work with?
I think my major issue here, Zach, is my internet DNS stuff is not working again.
Yeah, we had that problem about a month ago. So
I'm trying to get Hunter to give me some info. What was bad? I was trying to set Hunter up over here on this computer with Skype, but the my audio is not sending over on that. So we're just trying to do our best here to get Hunter back on the show. And Andrey was supposed to come down and talk to us about Tom Brady. I guess we're just going to get into that without him. So with Brady now in Tampa, are they the favorites, or is Drew Brees and the gang still the favorites?
I think it's going to be a dogfight. I think whoever wins head-to-head matchup, if they split, it's really going to be a dogfight. But Tampa beat Saints last year with Jameis, and I think they beat them
Right.
soundly. Brady's not going to make the mistakes that Jameis made, and they can be very, very good. Look, let's just say this. Look what Fitzpatrick did with them, with that offense.
All right, over here with it. Easy there.
Rates are low today. The time is right to improve your home. We have home improvement loans and we're lending right now. Join your neighbors and friends and people all over our local communities who are improving the quality of their lives by improving the quality of their homes. We're an equal housing lender.
What it looks like I'm playing on my
Carolina
phone.
Trust
People heard
Bank.
that. Yeah, you guys are definitely hearing that. They're definitely hearing that.
How do you know?
Well, I can hear it coming out of the studio in there. All right, Hunter, I'm gonna rig something up and try to get you on the on Skype on my other computer if I can't get this main one working. Let's see if we can do that. Jeez, there's a way and a will for everything, Zach. At some point, we'll get it right. We may have accidentally in all this figured out how to kind of do this, really. All right, Zach, you want to go over some of the moves or anything there, but any updates that anybody's been doing today?
Let's do. Let me go here and see. Saying that this is an interesting one. Saints are near a deal with Malcolm Jenkins. Philadelphia has let him go. That was the reason that the Patriots didn't win the Super Bowl that year. Remember, they didn't play Malcolm Jenkins.
Right.
So he's nearing a deal with the Saints. That's going to help the Saints out tremendously on the back end. We've said before, Titans have traded their star defensive lineman Casey to the Broncos. Hunter mentioned that Ed Reed. I did the same thing you did, Hunter. That Eric Reed is gone from the Panthers. And there's some small moves that's went on. Dolphins land Karras for $4 million. That's a small move. Nick Foles going to the Bears for a 4th-round pick. Now that's interesting because last year Jacksonville gave him the most guaranteed money or the biggest contract in Jacksonville history, and he's gone the next year for a 4th-round draft pick to the Bears. Let's see what they're saying on the latest signings.
Malcolm Butler was the Patriots, not Jenkins, is what Hunter said.
Oh, was I wrong about it?
Yeah, Malcolm Butler, not Malcolm Jenkins.
My fault. I was thinking it was Malcolm Jenkins.
Hey, we all get things wrong.
I did
sometimes.
make that mistake. Thanks for that, Hunter.
I know Hunter's listening at home. He's going to join us. I want to say hello to some of our listeners and viewers: Chris Nelson, Joel Clemmer. Let's see, Richard Howe, Jonathan Leatherman said hello, guys that have signed in at some point. Mandy signed in, checked you out for a minute, Zach. It looks like. So basically, we went over some. You want to? No, I don't. We went over a lot of this free agency stuff, what it means for these quarterbacks, where they're going to go. What's it going to mean for the Panthers going forward? We've actually picked our playoff teams. Zach, who'd you say the last team was in? We had Tampa, Dallas. You said Chicago,
Bears,
didn't you?
Bears, yeah.
You said you had the Bears. So.
Cowboys signed Gerald McCoy, the guy that we had for the Panthers this year, to a
Did
3-year
he do anything
deal.
for you guys? That's what I was wondering. Like, how does Dallas end up?
He wasn't like superstar, but he was very serviceable. Good pick for you guys on the front defensive line.
Well, I mean, they've lost. Like I said, the only thing Dallas has done is re-sign people.
That's about all they could do because everybody they got is are going to get these massive contracts. I mean, they're saying they're going to lose Jalen Smith. Is that right? The linebacker, maybe?
They lost Byron Jones already to Miami.
Jones, that's a big loss. Byron Jones is a big loss. Jalen Smith's going to be coming up for contract this year, next year. And then not long after that, you're going to have the Wolf Hunter. What's his name? The guy they picked up in the draft last year, first round. I lost his name. So,
man, I didn't mean to click on that. It said allow Skype to record audio. I clicked yeah. Now I don't know how to go back and change that.
they re-signed. Cowboys re-signed Sean Lee. So
I see Hunter, but I don't know if he can hear us.
wave if you can hear Hunter.
I mean,
Hey,
he can hear us, but I don't know if we can hear him. Let's try something here. Hunter, try talking. I don't know if we can hear you, but more than likely, it looks like our folks might be able to hear you. So give me a something in there.
I give you something. I'll just see if I can talk right now.
All right.
You probably can't hear me.
It looks
I
like
am
you're
talking.
we can. It looks like the folks at home can hear Hunter, but we can't.
Yeah, will they
And
be able
if
to
I
hear
can
me?
figure out
Ooh.
that, then we would be doing something here. I don't even
we
know
would be
what to do about
A-okay.
that. So Hunter can talk, and we have no idea what he's saying. We can just see him up on the screen, so he can just say whatever he wants about
Oh,
us.
so I could say anything, huh? Oh,
I can see
gosh,
that he's talking.
I've got the floor right now.
that's awesome.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. Well, look, if this is gonna make it difficult.
Vic
I
Beasley
don't mind,
Jr. From Atlanta
maybe
signed with
sitting
the
this one
Titans. Sack leader in 2016. 27-year-old is also Titans making that defense even stronger. The Raiders and Jason Witten kind of a head scratcher for me.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess if you can still play, but I just don't get it. I mean, why wouldn't you want to just retire as a Cowboy, Mr. Cowboy? You know?
Hunter, talk.
Hello.
I got him. Did you hear
Can
him?
you hear me?
I can hear him. Can you
I can't hear him.
Is that- talk, Hunter?
Can you hear me?
Ooh, I turned it.
Hey.
You can hear him now, or
No,
just me?
I can hear you, and
You
it
can
went
hear me.
straight through the roof. But that's okay.
Hunter, I'm gonna hook him up just a second. We're gonna hear you both and just say, go ahead and say hello to Zach there. See if we can talk for just a second.
Hey, Zach.
You got him, Zach?
No.
Here's Zach. Put these headsets on while I do
Okay.
something.
Okay. Now, he's talking. I still can't hear him over here. Is that not weird?
I just had him. I could just hear him.
I couldn't.
Talk, Hunter. Oh, I know what happened. Hold on. I don't have him on this audio. Give me a second. Jeez, this is great podcasting and radio today, boys. I'll tell you what. Go ahead, Hunter. See if you can say something. No, I'm going to have to switch you over to a different one. Hold on. I'll get you on this.
Fell stuff while I was there earlier.
There you
so-
go. There you go. Hold on. Got you now, Hunter. Give me 1 second, okay?
Okay, I got you.
Okay. All right, go ahead, Hunter. Got you.
Hear
We're
me,
back
Zach.
up and running. Got up and running.
Hey,
It's loud, but I've got you turned all
Nice.
the way down, and it's loud. Oh, because I'm not on this one, right?
hey,
Yeah, we're
Kevin.
on.
That's why. Thank you. Now speak.
Kevin, can
Much
you hear
better.
me?
Much better.
Yeah, we got you, buddy. We got you now.
Oh, you both of you? Hey,
Yeah,
I
we're
was just
good.
saying though. I was like, hey, if it's gonna make it too difficult, I can continue being a part of the peanut gallery.
Just making
to
comments.
watch and-
Just making
and
comments
make-
online.
Yeah,
since you
make
didn't
my
get to say,
comments
since you didn't get
online.
to say anything about Tom Brady, what do you think?
Tom Brady with the Buccaneers,
yeah.
I think that's great for him and for the Buccaneers. I think the NFC South is going to be a chess match between the Saints and the Buccaneers. I think essentially Atlanta are playing for third and fourth.
Really?
And
that's a big prediction. there,
Patriots
ain't it?
wise,
That what?
The
I mean,
Saints,
it really
Saints
is.
in Atlanta are playing for second and third in the division.
You think they're Tampa's that far? ahead,
Yeah.
Hunter? Hunter, let me 1 second. I'm gonna add something to your show here.
yeah, I think I do.
Oh, I lost him.
Yeah, Hunter, give me 1 second. I'm gonna reset something real quick. Give me one sound check, Hunter. I want to see which one you're on here. Go ahead.
Got
Tom.
me.
Mm-hmm.
So I got you on audio 3. Let me make sure I get you inputted here, so everybody can hear Hunter and see him. Sorry, folks, we're doing all this editing during the show, but our computer just went silly. Go ahead, Hunter. I think you're good now.
Yeah. So I was just saying, I think that Tampa Bay is going to be at least a step ahead of the Saints. And it's all going to be weapons wise. I'm sure Jared Cook has been a really good tight end filling in there for the Saints. But O.J. Howard is younger. I think he'll be more productive. Chris Godwin and Mike Evans are both beasts. Obviously, I know how good Michael Thomas is, but even then, that's only one receiver for Drew Brees and the Saints. So, and essentially, the Saints and Tampa Bay, to me, their defenses are almost very similar. So I seriously think that this is really Tampa Bay's division to lose now this year.
All right, Hunter. I think we got us I got a kind of a little setup here for us. I don't know. I guess you're watching on Facebook as well, kind of double back checking, but I don't think you can't see us at all yet, can you? That's fine, but we'll get that
Yeah,
in
I
a minute.
can. You're doing some editing right now. That's okay.
Yeah, I had to trying to get everything where it looks kind of decent from you. See, there you are, and we're hiding you there and everywhere else. But all right, we're going to go with this shot for the rest of the show. Now, I'm tired of hitting buttons, really. All right, Hunter, back to where back to Tampa is where we was trying to get to. You've got them in first. New Orleans fighting for second, third with Atlanta. Carolina dead last. Zach had them over under at 3.
I would probably say Teddy Bridgewater's addition makes them more at 4 or 5. So if you're setting my over under at 3, I'm going to take the over. I'm going to say maybe 4 or 5. But if it over under is set at 5, I would probably lean more towards 4. It would just depend. I know how they will be within the division. I think they'll possibly get swept by the Saints and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It just depends on how good Atlanta's going to be if they can split.
Zach?
Don't disagree completely with that. I'm just thinking.
How about this from local standpoint? If Cam gets cut, Charlotte has lost Cam Newton and Kemba Walker within a year and didn't get a single thing for either. Zach, what do you think about that?
I think the one thing about Cam, if you would have asked me, just a couple years ago, if Cam's going to walk, not on his own, we got nothing for him. That surprised me. Would surprise me. I'm really surprised that we're not even at least getting a late round pick. If they can give a 4th round pick for Nick Foles, but he has won a Super Bowl. Cam hasn't, but we should be able to at least get a pick for Cam. We just hurt our draft picks, our draft capital with him, so he's probably going to get cut, and then he's going to go somewhere else. So, good luck to him. I hope he goes to the Redskins.
Hold on, Hunter. I'm pulling your audio back up. Make sure.
Because you know what? I like Ron Rivera. Yes, we did.
Well, most people have said that. Zach, I almost everybody that's dealt with the Panthers in the past few years, everyone has nice things to say about Rivera. But
he
again,
didn't get the job done.
He only had 3 winning seasons in 9 years. And we don't a lot of times it's just weird to me how some people, and I guess it's the media, and if you're nice to everybody and to the community, no matter how bad you do, they're not gonna the shot. Hunter, what do you think about this? I mean, you live here, but you're not necessarily a Panthers or Hornets fans, but the media like deifies / almost wants to befriend the players more than the local players and teams more than they actually want to be critical of them at all. And then the fans in Charlotte, if anyone's critical of the team of the teams, just get all over whoever the announcer or reporter is. And I just wondering, as far as media goes, what do you think about that?
I understand showing favoritism for the home team. You're getting paid to cover them. But at the same time, in media, you kind of you got to have a neutral ground. And I can understand how you have these ties to these players like Cam Newton. Obviously, he was one of the first superstars to come in and really put Charlotte on the map in recent years outside, and same with Kemba Walker as well. But you have to think about it from this standpoint. Do you really want – and I've heard Colin Cowherd say this a couple of times. He says – do you want the player to succeed and get his millions, or do you want the team as a whole to win and get championships? And if you can figure that out, which one you root for more, is it just the players or is it the success of the team? Then you'll be able to differentiate whether or not moving off of a Cam or a Kimball Walker is really necessary for championships.
Right.
Go ahead, Zach. Yeah.
I'm just saying, Cam getting out of here, it's coming. Kimba, the Hornets with losing Kimba, they could have done something a little different than that, just letting him go to the Celtics. We're kind of stuck in limbo here because our Hornets are horrible and our Panthers could possibly be horrible. We just have to wait and see. This is going to be a long process trying to rebuild this team. They've given the coach a long contract, big contract, and they're obviously not afraid to make the moves because they've let, Kevin mentioned it, everybody off that was under contract. I mean, they're gone.
I was trying to pull up this video of something about Matt Rule and the Panthers, but just reading through some tweets. When Panthers fans say they lost, they don't like how it was handled. Business
I've
is
seen
business,
that
but
as
the
well.
perception is that the team capitalized on the drama before giving his walking papers. Go ahead.
See, I saw as well is, Matt Rule at the draft combine and coming in and him being introduced was basically feeding the fans what they wanted to hear. That they feel like they've been lied to because he essentially said he can't wait to come in and work with Cam Newton. And they got everybody's hopes up.
I think the fans, and if you've watched our show the past few months, I have been 100% consistent with the fact that they were going to get rid of him.
Yep.
Based on all the words that they were or weren't saying. They weren't saying he's our quarterback. They weren't saying he's the starter. I don't know. Why are we talking about this, guys? He's the MVP. That's not what they weren't saying. What they weren't saying, they kept talking about his health. We don't know if he's healthy. We don't know what he can do, where he's at. It was always, I would love to coach him. It would be nice to coach him, but none of it ever, Hunter, again, was, just hey, yeah, well, he's 100% our quarterback. That's what they would say if he was their quarterback, without question. And fans need to realize, and what Zach is saying about now, that they've got Bridgewater and they've lost some a little leverage there. If they came out 6 months ago and said they were trading Cam, but he couldn't pass a physical, they would have no leverage.
Yeah.
Because teams would call then and be like, hey, we want him. And then the Panthers would have to say, he can't pass a physical right now. So now you have no leverage whatsoever. And they keep saying March 18th. So that's tomorrow. That's today, right? That he's supposed to be able to pass the physical. Today was when he was supposed to pass the physical. So we'll see if he takes one for anyone and what's going on with that.
He's going to about have to because he's gone from us. So he's going to have to prove that he's worth getting traded for, or even when he comes out, if we cut him, to be able to play.
Well, if you're the Panthers, are you not actively worded it that they gave him, they gave him permission to seek a trade? Well, why, if you're the Panthers, why would you not actively seek a trade for him anyways and not pull a Charlotte Hornets that just let their cornerstone franchise player for so many years walk out for free? Why would you not try and at least capitalize on maybe some sort of compensation in a draft pick, whether it is a second, third, or even a fourth pick? You can still find quality players, but just don't let him walk out the place for free.
Yeah, that's a first-round draft pick 9 years ago, number one. Let him walk out the door. Let him walk out the door.
MVP, and to a lot of people, that still resonates. They always bring it up. He was an MVP. He at least made a Super Bowl. A ton of quarterbacks in the league have never even made a Super Bowl.
He goes to the Redskins. They might actually win that division.
I think the Eagles are too decent enough to. They might be another year where they're 8-8 and win the division, or 9-7 and they win the division.
Yeah, I think that's more of just how bad the team in the NFC East is.
Exactly what it was.
I think that's a testament.
That's exactly why I said that. He could come in and have a 7-9 season and make the playoffs by winning the division.
I mean, how could Dallas? How could you argue Dallas is better? Then
Philly?
last year.
No,
just
you're
last year
You
period.
can't. They lost Randall Cobb too.
Right.
He just left.
They've lost Randall Cobb, lost Jason Witten, lost Byron Jones. They re-signed Sean Lee, Amari Cooper, and
Dak.
re-signed that bad Dak Prescott. Like, what improvement have they made? And their draft pick is somewhere like in the teens. Not exactly sure where, because Hunter's on my internet computer and the other one's not working.
Well, I mean, I can look it up. That's all you had to say, man.
I think they were at 17.
Are they at 17?
Earlier. Some right. I don't think it was 17. 14 to 17.
Somewhere in the middle. Because we're going to go through a mock draft and then the I don't understand. Hunter,
Dallas is sitting at 17th.
That's what I was thinking.
17th.
Dallas is sitting at 17th.
So, I mean, what are you going to improve your team with that? I mean,
they need a corner, but this is a weak cornerback draft, and because they just moved off of Byron Jones.
They have to pick a defender. I mean, you have to go some type of defender.
Absolutely.
With what they
don't need offensive
safety. Line. I think Jeff Heath left too. He was starting safety. So there's another starter that they've lost. Zach's right, the offensive line.
What I've read so far is that Dallas and Washington are both intrigued in Desmond Trufant, the cornerback that Atlanta is letting walk. So unless they can make a signing there in the offseason, I fully expect them to at least try and get the best available defender, if not cornerback, in the first or second round.
They're saying safety out of Alabama, Xavier McKinney. Where was the guy that they lost?
Heath?
No, they lost it. The defensive back.
They lost Byron
Jones.
Jones.
Jeff Heath was a safety. Byron Jones was a corner.
So they lost Heath also.
They lost
so they
safety
could
and
either
corner.
one. Xavier McKinney. I don't see another cornerback. You know what? C.J. Henderson is one pick before them for Atlanta projected. So either one of them two is probably gonna.
Is C.J. Henderson isn't he coming out of Florida?
Yes.
Yes, I like him a lot. If he was to fall to them, another safety that would be good, but I don't think he's going to fall far enough for them. Is Delpit out of LSU? That would be a really great safety for Dallas.
What's one thing that's crazy to me about safeties, Hunter, is that they've devalued them. I don't understand how safeties keep getting devalued when we've got more and more wide receivers out here, and most teams are slinging it around like this. And to me, safety would be the most. He's basically the defense.
Yes.
He's the coach from the very back, and Dallas hasn't had no success since Darren Woodson retired defensively. They've had like 2 top 10 defenses since he's been gone. I've always thought in almost every draft, it seems like whoever the number 1 safety is always a stud.
Mm-hmm.
And anytime you can do that, I say, because how many defensive linemen are available in this draft? A bunch. How many wide receivers? A bunch. But to get a upscale corner or safety, to me, like that's the thing. Like, say, for example, when you were playing fantasy football last 10 years, Zach, in our league, I think 7 or 8 of the champions had Gronk on the team.
Oh yeah,
because everyone else is even in those 9 other spots.
You only got 3 elite.
Right. I could not pick a quarterback until the 15th
Kelsey,
round
Gronk,
and get
else.
almost the same stats as the top, besides the top 3, everyone else. But if you go Gronk is on your team, there's so much of a jump between him and the next guy. And that's what I mean by like these positions like safety. If you can get a top player, I think that's the kind of guys you trade up for, as opposed let's trade up for the 3rd quarterback. Well, why don't the other 2 teams want this guy?
The top safety, or why wouldn't you want the top safety? Is what you're saying.
Right.
You got. Do you have an Ed Reed in here? Do you have a Sean Taylor in here? Ronnie Law? Any of those elite safeties that in this draft? If you do, take them. I think there's an elite corner in it. Everybody's talking about Okudah.
Right.
So he's definitely coming out quick. And then there's like 4 safeties in this draft that are comparable match-wise on each other.
I'm trying to do something with Hunter's picture here, but the video is not. I'm trying to give Hunter a shot of us. And
does he have it? Is that a real microphone up there? Or is that
he's got a real microphone.
Okay, I just want to make sure it wasn't like a.
He's just faking.
Right.
It's a prop.
No, this is not photoshopped. I
I thought he
promise. This is I'm
photoshopped
Studio
that.
Mike.
I thought it was.
You thought it was
No,
like
I
a
thought
like
it
a
was
filter.
Yeah.
Like a filter
I thought
on
it was
your
a
phones?
filter. Yeah.
No, this is a legit Studio
Okay.
Mike.
Okay. I thought it was photoshopped.
Yeah, Hunter. I was trying to pull up
No,
where you could
no.
see us. I may have finally figured out the right button to turn us on. Maybe let's see if you can see us now.
We'll have to obviously because I'll be in there Friday.
No, what happened today was
we'll
that
have to- we can-
was the stupid computer, the main computer that we stream on. For the folks watching,
The internet.
the internet goes in and out on it for some reason. It's plugged straight into the wall, and we've yet to figure out the problem with that. Although the stream stays up, the internet quits working, so it kicked us off Skype today, and it kicked us off the internet. So I was trying to get
Yeah, see, I
this
thought it was
working over
crazy
here.
because it was like connection is poor, unable to go through. I'm like, well, I have pretty solid connection right now. I
Right.
guess it's. I don't want to just throw it on you. I was like, I guess it's on their end.
I'm gonna. All right, Hunter, where we anything? What have we skipped over? There's so many people that signed and everything this week. Is there anything that I've missed, skipped over that you can think about while I'm getting organized on my end, real quick?
Obviously, the biggest name that has been answered, the question mark really has been Tom Brady. We can finally put this talk to rest. Same with Dak Prescott. He got tagged in Dallas. The DeAndre Hopkins trade came out of left field. Stephon Diggs has been.
And I lost Hunter all of a sudden. So that's Hunter. Let's see if he's gonna call me back. We might pick up a actual video this time. Let's see. Y'all people can see me calling Hunter. So that worked. Maybe I just accidentally kicked us off. Hey, look.
Something happened.
There you are. You got us,
What
Hunter?
happened?
I
Yeah, I got you.
you got my camera now.
I can see you.
I was activating the camera and it actually kicked us off Skype is what it did. So
Oh, well. Anyways, long story short, before I get kicked off Skype again, the free agency so far, I think, has been kind of crazy. I think this has been one of the more fascinating free agencies and trades, definitely because there are no other sports going on at the moment. So these are all some of the biggest news that we can get in the sports world, besides the fact that Kevin Durant has coronavirus. Other than that, I mean,
yeah,
I
let's
think
talk about that Friday.
It's been enjoyable. We'll talk about that Friday.
So Friday, I want to get into the Durant, and a couple of other things. We've mostly done the NFL today. I'm gonna go through a little, real quick mock draft, and then also Hunter, the NASCAR announcing they're gonna do more and more of the iRacing series with the guys. Have you seen that, Zach?
I saw you on your podcast the other day when you guys were doing one that you had it in the tab. I haven't got a chance to watch it. I didn't know what iRacing was.
So basically, what it is it's same thing. It's esports. So it's eNASCAR. It's playing against other people online. So what NASCAR's went and did, they've got these simulators. So at the Hall of NASCAR, have you been in the NASCAR Hall of Fame yet?
I have not.
So in the NASCAR Hall of Fame, they actually have the car sitting in there, and they built the simulators inside the cars. And so basically, what you have is it's basically an arcade type setup, but you're in a real racing seat. You've got your real driver, steering wheel, and all that, and it's connected. And you're all connected to basically a NASCAR type setup, and they're racing the. They had a prize. Last year's prize, first place, was $300,000, Hunter. So you could make $300,000 racing on the internet. So what they're doing this year with the races out, Zach, every week, they've got truck drivers, Xfinity, and NASCAR. Then they've got spotters and crew chiefs. Chad Knaus raced Sunday. He came in like 9th. Dale Jr. is racing. He finished 8th on Sunday. So you can watch Dale Jr. So you Earnhardt fans can get back into it and watching Dale Jr. race on the internet. What was cool, Jr. tried one out last year while he was in Charlotte. They set him up and hooked him into the giant big screen over there at the race, which is the biggest in the world. and he played on that. I would pull it up, but internet and all today.
Oh yeah, we know.
But
We know.
anyway, Zach, they are racing. They're going to pick up and start doing all the races on Sundays, and they're gonna do that going forward. Here's some of the names that raced Sunday this past Sunday: Justin Allgaier, Alex Bowman, Chase Briscoe, William Byron came in second. I'll tell you who won it if I can remember. It was one of the other people, Dale Earnhardt Jr., of course. They listed Hunter. They've listed what their occupations are under junior. You ready for this? It says he's a fired dealership service mechanic. That's Dale Earnhardt Jr. Fired dealership service mechanic. So that's his. Tim Duggar's a country musician raced. Kevin Hamlin, the 88 sponsor. Let's see. NBC analyst Parker Kligerman, Chad Knaus. See if he's the other names you might know. Bubba Wallace raced on Sunday. And dang it, Hunter, for the life of me, I can't remember. I think Haley might have. I don't know if Haley was the winner, Xfinity Series driver, or it seemed like it might have been a crew chief or someone else like that. But they were talking about, Zach, if the spotters are going to run, they should allow their drivers to stand beside them and yell crazy things at them while they drove. But Hunter, what do you think about, the NBA has their own E teams, and or not every team has them. Charlotte has one. But like I was looking at yesterday, Luka Doncic was trying to play some people online, and some of these other people were playing online. Some of these guys are having ideas. I think they should. And we talked a little bit earlier about Twitch and everything, about how there's people gambling. When you went offline, I was telling people there's a website yesterday that put a 2-point spread on a Madden simulation to watch Brady, and people are officially gambling online of Brady versus Rivers, Colts and Bucks. Last night, online on a Madden simulation. And then remember, a teacher gave me a C for that idea.
Listen, I'm just going to say this. I enjoy gaming in my downtime. Obviously, I'm of this demographic that enjoys it. That's really my era. I like it as well for the aspect of, even though it's a video game, you still get a competitive fix out of it. So it doesn't surprise me that these athletes who are uber competitive, they're looking to still compete at some way, whether it's, basketball players playing 2K or these NASCAR drivers getting in a seat. And like you said, this is not just like a little game that iRacing is not something you're just holding a controller with. Like, it's a legitimate simulation that it's like the equivalent of what fighter pilots use to simulate flying airplanes. Just it's for NASCAR. So I would personally enjoy watching it. I watch Twitch from time to time just because I like seeing.
25,000 people watched it, Zach, on Sunday. 25,000. That's more than it could go to a Hornets or Tar Heels game.
Yeah, I agree. It's like people just got to realize, like, one, it's accessible to everybody that has internet. Mm-hmm. You don't have to pay. You can watch with ads, so it's free. So there's no price of admission. People can watch it. And it's still watching guys compete at a high level. They're not just putting Joe Blows on there they're not picking up somebody off the street to come in and basically race. These are guys that are in the business.
Chargers announcing they're going to move forward with Tyrod Taylor. I'm guessing that means they're going to draft somebody. Maybe Tua, maybe Herbert.
More than likely.
It says they will not be trading for a second round pick. Bears just traded, like you said, for Nick Foles. So now what we're looking at is smaller and smaller places for Cam to go. What if we have Cam Newton and Jameis Winston are somebody's backups next year? Former MVP.
Well, whoever.
And remember, Jameis led the league in yards and was second in touchdowns last year. The quarterback of all 32 was first and second in yards and touchdowns, maybe a backup.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I'm really surprised that Las Vegas didn't make a play for Jameis, seeing how they could just sign him, because I really don't know how committed they are to the quarterback there. His name escapes me. Derek Carr. I don't know how committed they are to Carr. Denver, I think, will be probably in play for one of the two if they're still not sold on Locke, and they want to move off of Joe Flacco, because then now Flacco winds up available somewhere. The Patriots still haven't done anything.
So Nick Foles was for a fourth round draft pick. So for a wide receiver, Stephon Diggs, it's four draft picks, and for a quarterback, a Super Bowl MVP quarterback, it's a fourth rounder. And I know he's not young, and that's what you're looking for, but it's just that
he lost all 4 games he started for the Jaguars last year.
So teams will trade up 3 or 4 picks for a quarterback they've never seen play in the NFL. Panthers will give Matt Rule a 7-year deal, which they wouldn't give Ron Rivera. And the decisions, it's they make a decision, and then everyone like rallies around it and says, "Yes, that's the best thing." No matter what the decision is by your team, that's what's the best. Right. That's what we should do. That's the best thing. And some of this stuff is looking, weird and random how this stuff is adds up.
So Tampa Bay's got theirs. Like I said, I'm surprised Vegas didn't make any moves. The Patriots they have a hole to fill. Miami has got a second pick in the first round at 26. If they don't draft a quarterback, maybe they try and make a deal with somebody in trade. So there are other places. And, we talked about Green Bay. They might be wanting to draft a quarterback. Well, why would you draft Aaron Rodgers' replacement if Jameis Winston is sitting there on the board or somebody else that has been able to prove themselves and is still younger than Rodgers? So there are multiple places.
Shefty's reporting that Jacksonville is handing the starting job to Minshew. So maybe Cam is out there. So now we're down to how many teams? It's New England, Miami, and Washington, Hunter. So no Chargers, no Chicago,
I don't know. Listen, I'm just
no Jacksonville. But when this show started, we had 7 teams on this list. It's been an hour and a half,
and they're whittling
and we've
down.
Lost 3 for Cam already. Right. And Zach told you the whole time, Hunter, he's coming to you.
As soon as it's coming to Washington. It's awesome.
Another team that's got an aging quarterback, maybe looking to move. I don't know, especially with his injury from last year. Pittsburgh. Let's keep an eye on if Pittsburgh does anything, maybe to at least have a suitable backup.
A lot of people are saying Jameis there.
I don't see why not. I don't see why Jameis wouldn't be a good fit in Pittsburgh. They got weapons, decent weapons.
He's probably 39 with Roethlisberger now, right?
He's up there.
Roethlisberger's
he's Phillip Rivers'
up there in
age.
Yeah, him and Eli and all of them. Yeah.
Of River, well, I guess Eli ended up getting his second one there too. There's four Super Bowls in a top 10 draft right there. If that's how it could work out, but I don't know about picking some of these guys.
Much. I don't know the Elway draft,
and that draft's probably the 2 best, isn't it?
And then you've had a bunch that stink. Achilles Smith draft. There was multiple quarterbacks come out in that draft. Achilles Smith was one, I believe, and then
I was watching one thing online. Folks talking about these quarterbacks. One guy had his top 4 all time was Cameron Jordan of the Saints, Hunter. His top 4 all time was Brady, Breeze, Peyton Manning, and he said name the 4th. I don't care.
Wow.
He
just didn't even throw Montana.
He's like Joe Montana's not alive, and
Marino,
and Unitas, and someone else said
essentially
a couple
guys
people
he played against.
A couple people said Favre. A couple people. Those were the arguments about it. But yeah, the Peyton thing, after Eli winning more Super Bowl MVPs than him, and Peyton beating the Bears, Rex Grossman
he get 2.
He got 2. He beat Rex Grossman, which wasn't that hard. And then he beat the Panthers with about 150 yards passing, and he really wasn't the reason they won that game. So both of his wins are not because Peyton Manning was the quarterback of those teams. Now those teams got there maybe because Peyton. Now that Denver team, that defense, but that first Colts team got there and won that. Wasn't they in the top 5 in like defensive turnovers or something that year too?
Yeah,
they kind of helped out.
They did. They had a good.
I know they had something on the defense, but yeah, I mean that's the same thing with Brett Favre. You bring up his Super Bowl, the kick returner was the MVP.
Desmond Howard
of the Super Bowl. So there are holes in some of those. Some people said, "What if I told you Drew Brees wasn't?" And I'm just like, I don't think To me, I think he is. Our list, we had 9. Our top 9 for sure was Montana, Brady, Unitas, Marino, Aitman, Peyton, Breeze, Bradshaw, and Elway. Just looking across at that, there's a bunch of reasons some players won more, some reason they didn't. If you're Zach, before Brady was drafted in 2001, all that stuff, the argument, correct me if I'm wrong, was Montana or Marino.
Mm-hmm.
So with that said, they have to be in any argument after 2000 added to it, right?
Marino for forever had the most yards passing, and Montana had the most championships.
Right. So that was the main argument, Hunter. But right before you were born, was Montana Marino was the big thing of who the greatest was, and then everybody started saying Peyton when he was going through his stuff, and then Brady started winning championships, and then Breezes broke all of Peyton's records and won a championship as well in the same era. So to me, I would say a lot of people threw Elway in the Marino, Montana. He was like in the middle. So you had Montana with the rings, Marino with the yards, and Elway in the middle with the 2 rings and the yards and stuff. So he's kind of in the middle of the 3, right? But neither one of his championships were because of John Elway. It's because they got in a great defense.
Yeah,
they had top 10 defenses as well in those years. It's not like they didn't have big defenses. All right, Hunter. Going through our stuff. It's like I said, no Cam in L.A. Getting ready for Washington. That's pretty much it, man. I think he is. I kind of do. Zach, you got to get going, don't you? No school.
but today's a little different. They're giving out some kind of packets. I got to pick up the packet for him for between 3 and 4. So
I totally forgot about the no school thing. So New England. If you're gonna guess, Hunter, give me your odds.
Quarterback of New England.
No. 1, 2, 3. Where does Cam Newton go? New England, Miami, Denver, or Washington? Give me your odds. 1, 2, 3. Or give me your top 2. Give me top 2.
Top 2. One. Now that everybody's been taken off the board, basically, I'm gonna have to go with Miami. And 2,
was that Washington?
I'm gonna go. And 2, I'm gonna go with Denver because I'm not putting it past John Elway to get another veteran quarterback just to come in and play.
He's the wild card.
Tried it with.
He's your only hope. He's not going to Miami.
Look,
Denver's your only hope. It's awesome. I can't wait.
I swear, if I was Denver, I would wait on them to release him and then call them about McCaffrey and try to get both. With one or 2 draft, or like 2 or 3 draft picks.
Well, last year Denver also was shopping Von Miller around.
I don't know about that one, Hunter.
That's the wild card. I'm telling you, it's down to a two team race: Denver and Washington. Jameis is going to the Patriots.
Now one of you feeling about New England. So New England.
Jameis is going to the Patriots.
Who's most likely in New England? Brissett, Andy Dalton, or Jameis Winston?
I like Brissett too.
Dalton.
I don't have a problem with any 3 of those. Any 3.
Like, I'm starting to feel bad.
I'm saying Jarrett Stidham.
I'm starting to feel bad for Flacco on this because his spots are dwindling as well. He's going to have to back up somewhere, it looks like. But, I mean, New England.
I could see him.
I would say New England if they had receivers.
They don't have any.
But who's he going to throw?
Well,
Flacco throws it deep.
Yeah.
He's Mr. Deep.
I want you to just think of this. They got a young quarterback with the Jets. Maybe sign Flacco. He's used to playing in cold weather and in the Northeast. Why not have him back up in case Sam Darnold catches mono again?
Hey, what about backing up in Buffalo?
For Josh Allen, I mean, they're eerily similar. Just one's more athletic than the other.
Josh can run. Arm-wise, Josh can run way 10 times better than Cool Joe Flacco. Somebody that they were putting on the internet yesterday, somebody finally figured out, Hunter, besides me, that Flacco's won a lot of playoff games because they were listing the top 10 playoff wins, and they had Brady and then everybody else. And then somebody was like, "Oh crap, Flacco's on here."
Before I get off here,
I'm telling you, look.
Before I get off here,
go ahead.
If Cam goes to the Redskins, I'm gonna have a Cam Redskin jersey on next time we do this. Watch, it's gonna be the one.
Andre, you want to join us for a minute before we get off here?
I'll let him have my spot. I'll see you guys next week. Okay.
All right.
Well,
Zach's gonna.
this will be my final thing then. If we're getting ready, I'll just
Can you wait a minute, Zach?
I'll
before you
just
go?
say this.
Hey, Andre, you want to sit down for just 1 minute? Hold on, Hunter. We'll have Andre sit down.
Is Andrey coming up in here?
Yeah, he's coming in here too. He's gonna sit
Andrey
down. Go ahead, sit
coming in
down.
here late.
We'll have his late predictions. He's a Tampa Bay Bucks fan. I wanted to get this on before we go before we get out of here. Huh? Well, we're gonna have to
just
move
wanna
your
say
camera if you'll
this,
sit
man.
down. I'll adjust the other one. Go ahead. Hunter.
I just want to say this: if Cam ends up in Washington, I'm becoming a Buffalo Bills fan. I love Josh Allen, I really do. But if Cam ends up in Washington, I give up with our front office. Even after all the moves we made in the offseason cleaning house, if we pay him some money and do some dumb stuff like this, I'm done with it. I'm done with it. So what? We're getting Andrey in here now.
Andre don't have a headset on, so we have come to the conclusion, or I did. We put 7 teams up for Cam, and by the end of the segment, we're down to 3. And I said, as soon as I got done with it, I said, listen, he's going to be a Redskin, and it's looking really good for him to be in a Redskin right now.
Cam Newton?
Yeah.
That'd just be terrible.
He's going to be a Redskin. That's what Rivera is.
Well, he's going to be a backup?
No, he's going to be a starter. Watch.
Yeah, right. Cam will never start in NFL again. No, I'm just playing.
We're saying,
I'm just playing.
We're saying Jameis is going possibly to the Patriots.
I heard it's gonna be a package deal. You can get Cam and James.
That wouldn't be Kevin. That's in play, buddy. One of them backing up the other.
Yeah, you can buy one, get one half off.
You said that right.
Well, Andrey, go ahead and get started on Tampa Bay.
Well, it's only 3 words to be said. Fire the cannons. That's all that can be said.
I thought you was going to say Super Bowl and split them up.
see, I bought this hat.
You just had it a year early.
Yeah, I bought it a while back. I've been waiting to pull it out. I haven't even took the price tag off of it.
Hey.
This seemed like the best time to start wearing it.
Yeah,
that's gonna be my favorite hat right now.
I thought it was. I think it's gonna be intriguing this year. It's gonna be a fun NFL season with all the moves that's went. So, I think it's good for you guys. Hunter says he thinks you guys will win the division. I said it's gonna be a close race between you and the Saints. And he can't throw that Atlanta out either.
I had a wager. Somebody fussed with me this morning about Brady going there, talking about his age and all this. I'll tell him, Jameis threw for 5,000 yards behind that same line that you about to tell me can't protect him.
And he won't make the mistakes that Jameis did either.
Yeah,
and they were 7-9. And
his body is in way better condition than Jameis's body is. So this man gonna wager me. I ain't gonna mention his name. But he started off at $50.
Oh my goodness!
But then he wouldn't shut up, so I was like, "Well, if we're gonna talk like that." He said we wouldn't even make the playoffs.
Oh yeah. You're making the playoffs.
So I was like, "Look, okay, let's go up to 100." He continued to talk.
Now I will say this: what happens if they come out and he gets hurt the first game for the rest of the year?
It would never happen.
you better get that 100 out. Won't you?
What he be eating? Whatever he be eating that keeps him healthy, that makes him Superman.
I'm happy for him. I do. If he goes out and wins the Super Bowl with this team, it's just going to make the legend greater. We'll say that.
Yeah, because you think he don't know? Like he knows what kind of offensive line he's going into. He seen what happened to Jameis last year. He wouldn't go there if he didn't feel like he could win. He had other options. He seen that receiving core, and he was like, "Let's go eat. Let's fire them cannons, fellas." I
told Kevin and Hunter, I said that he's never had since Randy Moss. He's not had a Mike Evans type receiver.
And that's where it's gonna, but that's where it's gonna boil down to, because Evans is gonna show out. I know they down there just smiling,
and they got a good tight end.
They probably all out there in the bars getting the coronavirus. They don't care right now. They don't care. We go out to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they got a good tight end, and hey, he'll be picked up quick on fantasy football.
Yeah,
and Bruce Arians is the head coach.
Not only am I having me a Super Bowl, I'm ordering me a ring this time.
Listen, I'm gonna say this.
Oh,
I'll just say this. I think really the weapons is what sold Tom Brady on coming to Tampa Bay.
That
I know
and-
how
that and
much
they
of a
rolled the red
stud
carpet
Mike
out for
Evans
him.
is. Chris Godwin is no slouch. If he's
Yes,
your
sir.
2, he might be one of the best 2s in the league. And not only that, Tom Brady really missed his tight end. He's getting a damn good one in O.J. Howard. He is getting a great tight end. And I think that might have been the difference. So Hunter Henry is good out in L.A., but I think he really likes what O.J. Howard brings to the table with his athleticism and how fast he is in Tampa Bay.
What do you do with Kevin mentioned it? You got to get a running back. They need to find.
Yeah,
they need to
that's-
find a pass catching running back. Hey, Dion, who was with the Patriots that always stuck with him? Which one was it?
Dion Lewis.
Was it's one
Or-
James White.
Yeah, but
James White.
Todd
One
Gurley's
of them's
available.
coming down there. Watch, it's going to happen.
Yeah, Andre, what do you think about? Andre, what do you think about the Bucks getting Todd Gurley to add to that? Todd Gurley.
Well, that would definitely go ahead and put us in there at the Super Bowl.
In the Super Bowl.
That would put us in there. No, we already in there now.
Yeah.
Oh, you're already in the Super Bowl.
That would put us in the winning
Okay.
circle.
So straight from out of the playoffs to Super Bowl, you guys are ready, right?
You're right.
I just wanted to make sure that's where we were.
I ain't saying Jameis
Do you
was
want to
our
run it back
fourth.
like that, Gurley or something like that, or someone else, or should you draft a guy? What do you think on that? Do you need another running back, or should you go all
we
defense
just-
in this draft to bolster the D?
Nah, you got to give him an option to dump off to. So I would say we have to get a running back. We don't have to have a great running back. I would rather spend money on a running back that's a free agent
I agree.
than drafting one.
Oh, you gotta
Preferably
have a
one
pass
that could
catcher.
catch.
You got
that's
you
it.
have the 14th pick. You have the 14th pick, and I'm gonna tell you what. I'm a Georgia fan. DeAndre Swift might be available at 14 out of Georgia. He can do both, run it and catch it out of the backfield.
Yeah, I like him. I say my cousin is a Georgia fan, so I had to watch a few games.
I do want to say, Hunter, mention here that I have rewired this office twice during this show. I just want to say, because what happened was, Andre, this computer, the Skype went out, and we were running off this computer over here, so we switched to this one, which made me have to rewire everything during the show back to the opposite way. And when you sat in, I had to redo the audio so we could hear Hunter. And I've had a time to doing shows right now. Looking at so Andre, Zach, real quick, Zach, before you get out here, I want Andre to go over these teams. We picked teams out of the playoffs last year. In the NFC, we had Minnesota, San Francisco, and Philadelphia out. Tampa Bay, Dallas, and Chicago in. 3 in, 3 out is on the average. What do you think about that? Well, you already said Tampa's in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that sounds great because the person I was arguing with is an Eagles fan.
The Eagles out. They're out.
And not only would that make my $100 look just so much better.
But yeah, I mean, the Eagles, the NFC East isn't that good.
No.
In fact, Hunter, if you get Cam, I mean, y'all might make a run.
I've already made it. If they get
Hey,
Cam
what if-
and
wait,
they get Chase
Hunter.
Young, they can win the
What
division.
about Kyle Allen? He's tied to Ron Rivera.
So Hunter's a
Redskins fan. Yeah, he's a
You know, he
Redskins.
got Thomas Davis. He a Redskin
I do
too.
know that.
Yeah, that wasn't bad.
Yeah, I'm not upset with that. I think some of the veterans they're bringing in will really help change the culture in Washington. So I like that. That's one of the few that I really liked that they brought in.
That's what I'm saying. We got the ultimate veteran. Mister, I'm not gonna quit playing football.
I do want to give a real quick shout to Chris Nelson on there. He looked it up for me while my internet was down. That Colts was 24 in scoring defense. It's one of the 5 teams that won a Super Bowl without a top 12 defense in the league. I like to give that stat out all the time, Andre. So, you got all them weapons there in Tampa, but unless you guys can make sure your defense is stout, that's what I would be looking at if I was you guys. Would be concerned about the most is making sure your defense can protect and keep Brady in these games.
Which camera am I on?
You're on the main one right there over here.
I want everybody to see this.
There. He's trying to show off his Tampa Bay
That's all that
Buccaneers
matters
fan.
right here. That's what everybody need to be looking at. If anybody out there looking at this show, just watch this hat right here.
I wonder if I deleted my all-time.
When we get to the Super Bowl, I'm gonna be still wearing this hat. I'm gonna get a patch to put on the side of it. Get a bunch of dollar bills everywhere around here. It's over with.
All right, well,
Hunter, you can join us.
coming soon will be the end.
I got room. I got room for anybody who on the bandwagon. We don't care.
Okay.
We accept
Okay.
everybody. We nice
I
in
mean,
Florida.
I could be like Kevin and just find a new team because my team just doesn't seem
Come
to be
on!
committed to winning. But we'll see how this works this year.
Yeah, we invite everybody. Y'all come join us.
I don't think you're going to get a lot of bandwagon fans for the 43-year-old quarterback or 2-year-old quarterback. What do you think, Hunter?
Don't you do it?
Well, I will say this: there will be a lot of fans like how people. They weren't Broncos fans, but they were Peyton Manning fans, and we're just happy to see him go out there and win one. I think it'll be the same thing. They won't necessarily be Patriots fans happy to see it, or Tampa Bay fans, but they're Tom Brady fans, and they'll be rooting for Tom. So I think that'll happen.
All right, Hunter, I'm tired of switching cameras and wires and stuff. We've been about 2 hours now. Let's call it a day.
Yeah.
We need to end with the cannons firing.
What with the cannons firing?
Fire the cannon.
Fire the cannons, baby.
Andre,
Let's go.
I would if I knew that I could get internet somewhere on my thing. Oh, it just popped up. Hunter.
Let's go. Yeah, we got to end with that.
I don't know if we can fire. No internet. Never
Oh
mind.
man,
It did pop up.
that's all right. About time for a road trip.
All right, Hunter, we're gonna see you
Friday. Yeah.
on Shock Chops. Now Friday we got NBA, NASCAR iRacing, more NFL free agency. Maybe Cam Newton has a home by the end.
Doubt it.
Might be in Washington. Hunter's getting him a new number 1 jersey. Number 1, Hunter. Show the fans. The new number, the QB1 in Washington is going to be Cameron Jarrell Newton. All right, folks. Friday about noon to 1, somewhere there. We'll get started. Hunter will be here. Andrey, maybe Terry, maybe Tom. We don't know. We'll see you guys on KBCBroadcasting.com. Shot Sportcast on KTC.